I will turn this into the best. You know what I'm saying? And those individuals crush it. You can't stop them. You can't hold them back. They're destined to succeed. There's something powerful behind what they are aligned with. It's just in their DNA.
Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott. I am excited to be with you here first and foremost from the lovely home of Carlsbad. Okay, so greatly love and appreciate this new home and where we've been able to make mi casa such an amazing, beautiful place. So grateful each and every day. But what I can tell you is that there's people out there that are sitting in this economy right now and feeling some type of way. You know, we haven't felt the squeeze in the economy and within business more than ever the last few years. I can tell you this by being a business owner, by leading from the front and not the back here, and seeing prime examples of many, many good human beings, many good friends of mine, many influencers and people that are in the space of marketing and business and growth and developing and starting new things. And not saying that everybody is struggling, but what I can see is there is a ton. There's a ton. And it's not just on the influencer side. It's one, and being the business owner, it's also completely on the average day American. And so I started just going down some rabbit holes, started to figure out, hey, what is the deal? Where are we at? What's up with the economy? You know, I'm naturally a very hopeful, visionary, focusing on the future, optimistic about the future, full transparency. I never think about the past. Never think about the past, because what's the point? It's already been done. It's already gone. Can't take it back. I like to learn from the past. I like geeking out on some of those things. But besides that, I'm never really looking too much at the past. And in the present, I'm usually a little negative. I'm going to be really blunt with you. I'm usually a little bit of a Debbie Downer in the present, but optimistic as hell about the future. And so there's pros and cons of that visionary seat, is what I can tell you. And I just, as always, you know, I'm always going to give you the blunt, honest to God truth and where my heart's at. But I want to know where your heart's at. I want to know where you currently are. How are you feeling in the market? Because there's plenty of good things going on. There is good things, right? I don't want to discount that. There's plenty of good things, but there's several things that the inevitable is just starting to take place and feeling the crunch on the everyday American. And so, you know, it's going to be, it could be some time before the crunch happens. It could be anytime. Like, nobody's got that crystal ball, right? So I started looking up some statistics. Being in the credit space, I like credit stuff. I like financing. I like banking. I like, you know, money always leaves a trail. It always leaves clues behind. I'm trying to pick up the breadcrumbs and figure out, where are we heading? What's the next possible, you know, experiment that this government's going to put on us? Or God knows, like, where are we at right now, right? And so what I started seeing is the U.S. credit card debt statistics are bonkers. It is crazy. Right now, the outstanding credit card debt here in America, here in the U.S., is $1.21 trillion as of the end of Q4, the end of Q2, the first half of the year in this year, 2025. Pretty crazy. That's the Federal Reserve stating that. In addition, we got the average credit card debt per person is around $6,500. $6,500 per person. Okay, Forbes wrote that. Not saying Forbes is right on everything. Let's be really crystal clear on that. You know, shout out to Forbes when I was writing in there. You know, but you know, with that being said, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? So trust but verify. Check that out though. $6,500 per person. Can you imagine? That's crazy. And then in Q1 of 2024, that was last year, the beginning of last year, a year and a half ago, it showed basically 11%, 10.7% of credit card balancers were more than 90 days past due. Serious delinquencies, right? That's serious delinquencies. And it looks like the average growth, right? So revolving credit card growth on all credit cards is at an all-time high of almost 10% annually increasing. So the last couple years, specifically after COVID, but specifically the last 2 years, we've seen an increase. Like we were pumping so much money into the economy, into the government, the last administration during COVID and all the craziness that was stirring up from that, right? And so you didn't feel it too bad at first, although prices of eggs, prices of gas, and all prices of everything, housing, rent, everything was going up, right? Cars started going back up and all this craziness. And so as things are leveling out, because they have to eventually, right? Inflation and so forth. The good news, right? They did mention recently that the interest rates finally dropped a little 0.25% and so forth. Like, it's good, and they're expecting another 2 times throughout the rest of this year, 2025, to the end, this final quarter. Is that good for us? Is it bad? I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people saying that obviously we need this to take place, and if we don't, like, it's going to make it very, very difficult for the economy, for people to keep up. But then on the other end, if we get that temporary pullback, I'm hearing on this other side, if we get this temporary pullback another little bit till the end of the year, another 2 times dropping it, what is that going to do? What's that going to do? It's just going to slingshot it right back up to where it was the last couple years. And so we definitely want to be cautious on this. Plenty of good things taking place in the economy, and borders being protected, and 100% bonus appreciation on cost segregations and so forth, and so many other things, right, that are taking place. However, there's still a bunch I think it is just showing that, man, the stock market can't hit any more highs. Like, that the wildness going on. There has been a lot of truth during October for crypto. So we'll see. We're about to walk into October, and we'll see what takes place then. There's a lot of people that are very bullish and excited for it. What I can tell you is this: in this market, you want to keep looking at these statistics. You want to see where the trends are going. You want to see what's happening. It says many Americans are carrying balances month over month, estimated between 47 to 60% on their utilization. That's a ridiculous amount, guys. It's a ridiculous amount. No wonder we're $1 trillion plus in credit card debt. It's outrageous. It's crazy. And so a couple of things that I wanted to point out after looking at some of these statistics is number one, pay your bills on time. Pay it off monthly. It's good to be optimistic. It's good to be hopeful, and it's good to invest in yourself. It is. But there's got to be an ROI. And if you're investing in yourself, you got to demand an ROI. Not a demand, hey, I need all my money back. Give me my money back. Like, show up in a powerful way and make the results show up to you. Demand that. Be a man or a woman of your word. When you commit to something, show up. Don't just swipe the card and say, all right, well, it's harder than I thought. It's more difficult than I thought. Wah. Like, really show up in a powerful way. But like, if you buy a coffee, you can't just expect to make, pay the $1 or $2 a minimum per month for the next 6 to 8 months, and then pay double or triple for that coffee, right? Pay the damn coffee off each and every day. I don't want anybody to ever pay cash, and I damn sure don't want you to pay with a debit card. I don't. But use the power of credit cards to be able to capitalize on protection, to capitalize on points, right? For free travels, free trips, and so forth, statement credits, cash back. And then and simply utilize it for getting more credibility on credit and get bigger credit lines and so forth, right? But pay it off as if it's cash. When I first got started initially, what I would do is utilize my credit cards each and every day. At the end of the day, when I'm sitting in bed, I would just be transferring money from my bank account into my credit card to pay that off, whatever it was at the end of the day, whatever's pending, I would just pay it off at the end of the day. That always helped me balance my books, if you will, instead of like old school, checkbook and balancing it like that. Instead, I would just simply pay from my bank account into my credit card each and every day. So it was always a zero balance the next day. And it got me into that good routine. I don't do that anymore, but I don't need to anymore either. I'm not living paycheck to paycheck. But at the same time, it's like if I was ever in a financial crunch and I didn't know, what the next bill or anything, or it's like it's not a generous size enough, it's smaller amounts, and you got to make sure each and every week is on point, then you're going to want to figure that piece out of it. Like you're going to want to pay off your stuff daily so that there's no surprises. And then also, how do we get ahead of things? I'm talking about when you're getting paid, you should be hiding, 30% somewhere, 20 to 30% of your savings. Toss it somewhere. Put it in a savings account. Put it in a high yield savings account, 4.5%. It's nothing crazy, but it's safe and it's making something. And it's like, don't touch it. You should also try to get to a point where you're putting 20 to 30% on investments into an investment account, even if it's still in that savings account, but you just mentally know, hey, I have it divided, or it's in a different bank account, building relationships. And when the day comes for that great investment, I'm going to have liquid right there to be able to jump into that investment, capitalize off of it quickly. See, like what I'm referring to is the 30-30-30-10 rule. Right? So when you live off no more than 30% of your income, you save 30% of your income, you invest 30% of your income, and you give 10% of your income, right? You give, so it always comes back. If you need something, give something. I'm a firm believer of that. And what I'm referring to here is, number one, nobody probably taught you that. Nobody, and it wasn't taught to me. It damn sure wasn't taught in school. And it definitely wasn't taught at my home, like around the dinner table. And that's okay if it wasn't taught at yours either. It's okay. It's natural. But it comes to a point in life when you're an adult and you have other people relying on you that enough is enough. Like if it's meant to be, it's up to me type of approach, right? We're going to have to step up as leaders and realize that somebody's looking at us. Somebody's asking with their eyes for us to lead them. Right? We have people that are relying on us to be able to grow and succeed and lead them. So I let you know ways that I've lived by in the 30-30-30-10 rule, because many of people aren't, and statistically it shows that many Americans are having crazy balances of 47 to 60%, and the debt is just going up 10% each year. It's crazy. We got to get on top of this. Pay off your bills on time, right? And it's not so much about, what can I cut off here? And I want to be cautious when I say this, because for some of you, that's exactly what it is. It's like you shouldn't be buying or going out to the club and spending a couple $100 on some drinks, during the weekend or at night. Like that isn't my audience. And so I know that's 90% of you, like that isn't you. But let's be clear. We all know somebody that knows somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like there's somebody out there that does need to hear this. So I don't want this to be taken out of context. If you're blowing your money on something, on one thing, on one addiction, on like whatever it is, and you are really on top of your books, your numbers, and so many people aren't. So a good exercise, what you can do is download or print out all of your bank statements and all of your credit card statements for the last, you should do it in increments. You should do monthly, like just the last month. You should do the last 3 months. You should do the last 6 months, and you should do the last 12 months, if you'd like. Ideally, 3, 6, and 12 would really help out, right? But anyway, one of those options or all of those options, figure out how much are you actually making per month and how much is going out per month, right? Just budgeting. How much is going in, how much is going out. And then you can average it out over 12 months. See like, oh, okay, cool. Well, this month I made more, but yes, on average, I'm actually, this is where I'm at. And this month we spent more, but that's because of this. And this is where we're at, averaging per month. But focusing on where money's going and start categorizing it. Utilities, it's this much each month. Rent is, or mortgage is always this. Investments are always this. Credit cards are always this. Groceries, this. Fun activities, whatever. You start seeing, oh, shoot, like I'm actually spending a lot over here. And so I'm not telling you to cut off the coffee every morning. I'm not telling you to save $5-6 every day. That adds up to a couple $100 a month. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not talking about that, but there's some people that do need to hear this of you're spending a couple $100 at one location, trying to ball out with your friends or whatever, and you really can't afford to do so. And you don't think in the moment, but you beat yourself up on it afterwards because you're like, I'm broke again. Like that doesn't feel right. Right. So there's got to be some kind of discipline in there. That type of conversation is more of a Dave Ramsey type of conversation. That's for those avatars, right? Buying the $20,000 Gucci sweatshirt or something. I always say, stupid things like that. But for everybody else, I'm not talking about just, cutting back on what makes you feel good or going out to eat a couple times with your loved one throughout the week. Like it adds up to small amounts at the end of the day. A couple $100, $1,000, $2,000-$3,000. If that's all you're making per month and it's all going out the window off things like that, then yeah, be cautious of it. But what I can tell you is focusing more on the aspect of making money. I had a mentor challenge me on this years ago, probably 8 years ago, telling me like, Brandon, it's not so much about you cutting out the coffee or whatever else it was, like going out to fancy dinners. It's not so much about that, because as you can tell after doing that budgeting exercise, you're spending $700 a month from that, which is great. But even if you cut out all those things and you made $700 extra per month, but now you're sacrificing happiness of what makes you happy and feels good, is it worth it? I would bet to say it isn't. I would challenge to say no. So, because $700 a month or whatever it is for you, does it truly make sense? Or can we still keep that lifestyle and can we start focusing our time and attention and energy in, instead of saving money and holding back all these things and sacrificing, right? How can I actually put that same energy towards making more money? What is it going to take to be able to make another 700 or 7,000? Or 70,000. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the number is that makes you feel good and it will allow you to accomplish what you want to accomplish, it's simple. Set the target, write out why, the goals, right? I'll be able to get this, 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 and this, right? I'll be able to have enough for this vacation. I'll be able to do this every so often. I'll be able to do this. I'll be able to take out my love. I'll be able to do all these things. It's going to cost this much per month. I should add a little extra buffer in there just in case, and then do the math. What is that per year? And then great, throw a little slab extra on there just in case. If it's 800,000 a year, great. Let's just round it up to 1 million. Cool. Now divide it by 12 and figure out what is it going to take? What do I need to sell? What do I need to get in front of? How do I need to position this to be able to really be able to grow and scale, right? I was talking the other day to somebody that I'm mentoring and he's going through some real difficulties with real estate right now. And there's a lot of people that are. There's an investment that I'm in over in Arizona that there's another capital call. It's second or third one so far. It's because of the interest rates. It's because it's a big, huge apartment building. It's because it's big syndication. It's because we were betting on the interest to stay where it was. And when things took a turn, it took a turn. And it's been like that for a couple of years, but it's we're seeing the ripple effect. And so a couple capital calls now into it. There's going to be another one by the end of the year. Congratulations. Welcome to real estate. Welcome to investing. I can say it with a smile. It doesn't feel like a smile when I'm coughing up that cash. But what I can tell you is that it's real and things happen. And there's other good people out there that have you fall into the trap of being the ultimate hustler, right? But you don't have all the numbers dialed in. You're not doing calculated risk. You're not really dialing in the statistics and the numbers and the risk factors. So some people get into that hustle mode and you get 60, 70 properties and great. But now you're just figuring out that you didn't have the good bookkeeper or financing. And now you're realizing, I'm actually spending more than I'm making. And before you know it, it turns into a real issue that we've seen with people. And so it's one of those situations that he is pivoting right now, and he's figuring, okay, well, this is how much I need to make per month. Let's add a little bit more on top of that, just have a buffer and be okay. If I need 40, let's aim for 60. And then what can I sell? What can I do? How can I add value to somebody? It's not about sell, sell, sell. It's how can I get in front of more people? How can I, what has God gifted me and given to me so that I can be a good, talented steward of it and be able to pass on these treasures to other people. There is what is it? It is a great passage. I forget. It's in Matthew something. Let me see if I can find it. It is, what is it? I don't know. It's a story in the Bible where somewhere in Matthew, I think it's 31 something, maybe it's 38 or 28, something like that, in regards to basically like the boss, right? The boss is given to some servants, right? And gave them some treasure, gave them some gifts. And in today's day and age, it's like hundreds of thousands, right? Gave to 3 different people and gave 10 talents to one, or maybe it was 1 talent for each person, right? And then I'm butchering this completely, but it comes back in a year and says like, hey, where's my gifts? Where's my talents that I gave to you guys? One of them comes back and says, hey, I multiplied it. I put it to work and I 10x'd it. Here you go. And he said, good, well, and faithful servant. And then the next guy, the middle guy, said, hey, I was able to double it. I put it to work and I doubled it. And he said, good, well, faithful servant. Congratulations. And then the last person said, hey, I know you are a strict boss, basically. I'm paraphrasing here, but you're a strict boss and you care about your money and you would, kill me if I did anything to it. So what I did is I hid it. I buried it for you so it's protected. And here it is, just that one back. And the boss was so disgusted from it. He was like, get out of here, you wicked, like horrible human being, basically. And he gave that 1 talent back to the guy that turned it into 10 and said, you multiply this again and get out of my face for the other guy. I think it's important to realize that how we do one thing is how we do everything, right? Figure out how can we actually multiply this stuff? How can we actually take with what we have and how can we make more from it, right? There's plenty of people that need what you have right now, the talents and wisdom that you have to be able to start something, to be able to grow something. People that are going through real pain right now. There's talented people around me each and every day, and it's crazy to see how they're not getting in front of people to serve them to the best ability. For real. It's just, that is what it is. It's so important to realize. So I encourage you to sit back and realize like what the heck's going on right now and how whether you think it dooms gloom in the next 6 months. And again, I would love for you to reach out to us and let us know how you feel about the market, where you think we're going, and how you feel in the next 6 to 12 months. I'm usually very optimistic. What I can say right now is that I think there's a lot in the air, and God knows, honestly. But what can we do about it, right? What can we do about it? Well, there's a couple things. You can, number one, start paying off your debt. And sometimes it takes money to make money. Let's be really clear with this, right? It takes money to make money. It's not always about saving money and like we just talked about that, right? Sometimes it's just making money. But how do we make money? If you don't know how to make money, then you got to get around people that do. You got to figure out, like, hey, if I if I'm already at 50% utilization right now and I give another 50% or 20%, 30%, I'm getting up there and it's getting worse. And that scares me. Yeah. But how much worse can it get? But also ask yourself, are you going to give everything you got? Are you going to give everything you got? Not financially, but maybe a combination, right? I'm talking more physically, emotionally. Like, are you going to show up demanding the success you deserve? And not to point the finger at them like anything else, whoever you're investing with, but really point the thumb back at yourself and say, hey, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Whether they help or not or whatever, I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to ask a ton of questions. I'm going to show up. I'm going to demand my ROI. You know, we've seen thousands and thousands of members come through Credit Accounts Elite. And what I can tell you is that the people that show up, I'm talking show up, like not just swipe a card, but somebody that shows up, puts the time, energy, efforts into it, that cares about their future, that says, I can't afford to do it any other way. It's not even an option. They're not even thinking about the defense. Like, they're not even saying I can't afford to, but it's already engraved in their mind. It's like, oh, I don't have a choice. Sorry, like I don't have a choice to fail at this. I don't care if this is the wrong mentor, if this is the wrong program. Like, I will turn this into the best. You know what I'm saying? And those individuals crush it. You can't stop them. You can't hold them back. They're destined to succeed. There's something powerful behind what they are aligned with. It's just in their DNA. It's engraved in them. I encourage you to realize it can be engraved in you too. It's time right now to start demanding this stuff. Start showing up in a powerful way. We've helped out over 3,700 members to date. Over 3,700. Probably closer to 3,800 now. But in Credit Accounts Elite over the years, since 2017, we really do this. We have it dialed in, and we've helped out so many people get hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if you need funding right now, I encourage you to realize that you can get funding right now too. That here in America, they're still lending out a boatload of it. You can get massive amounts of funding. Excuse me. You can be able to position yourself for getting the most affordable rates, interest rates as low as 0%, by maneuvering through, right? By being able to pay off any debt, hide it on the business side, keep your personal credit score in the 800s, stay there. Be ready for investment opportunities. See, even if you believe that the market is going to get worse before it gets better, understand this, it never lasts too long. And you just need to weather the storm. And after you weather the storm, watch it just catapult. It's a slingshot in the right direction up. It's not a long season ever in history for the negative to take too long. Yeah, there's a crash. Yeah, it gets nasty. Yeah, it's a season. 6 months, 12 months, year and a half later, boom. It's a rocket ship in the right direction. You want to be positioned. You want to be prepared for that. There's too many people in this world that are on the wrong side that are positioned and prepared for it. And that evil that lies within them, man, something's got to be taken away from them. This is a season. This is a year. This is a time that we've never seen in our lives. And so if you are a Christian, then it's time to take your assignment of taking from the wicked and be able to pour back into yourself, into the people around us, empower us to be able to grow and scale, right? To be able to transfer the wealth from the wicked to the righteous. And if you're not a Christian yet, you should really consider like where we are with the end times and realize that like we're not promised tomorrow. God could call us back at any given point. And if you really do the research, if you're not so damn closed-minded, if you really start just asking questions, challenge everything. Challenge everything. But there's no Big Bang theory. There's no Buddha. There's no Allah. There's none of this BS. There was never, like, if you really follow the truth and you go back into the resurrection, there's never been so much confirmation and confidence and secure, like, true facts behind the one and living God, the one and only, the one who raised from the dead. And so when you give your heart to him and you really like go full out into that, Watch what it does for you. I'm telling you, watch what it does. You don't need to have any pain. You don't need to have any fear. You can give it all to him. And the way that you walk and the way that you move and the way that you conduct business, it's different in such a powerful way. So if you haven't given your life to God yet, man, today is that day. You should definitely consider that. I know Sunday is always for church, but you can handle church any day of the week, so really sit with that, please. I wanted to go over just the power behind what's taking place in our economy right now. And again, if you're not watching the money, if you're not following what's happening in the market, that's what we're here for, right? That's what we're here for, and that's why I want to share with you like how to stay ahead of it. But this is what has always worked for me. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. And if you can, because you're listening to this, because you're on the podcast, I love you. You can check this out either on Facebook, and that's Brandon Elliott Investments, or sorry, it's Brandon Elliott Investor. Otherwise, this will be on YouTube as well. So that's Brandon Elliott Investments. IG, it's Brandon Elliott Investments. You should be following us on all platforms and so forth. Credit Counsel Elite on IG as well, right? So follow us on all those platforms, and feel free to reach out and DM too. Let me know how you feel about the market. I really do want to know. I want to see where you're at. But this is the tried and true methods. And this is what saved me. Like when I had nothing, when I was broke, busted, disgusted back in 2013, 14, 15, many years, it came down to, I realized that I needed to get the education. I needed the foundation. I needed to focus on a positive mindset. I knew that I needed to get away from stinking thinking people. That was number one. So I got away from them. And it was lonely, being by yourself, focusing on some education. But I started going through books, podcasts, YouTube, stuff like this to be able to empower myself, to better myself. I couldn't find any mentors. I didn't think anybody would mentor me. I was too scared shitless to even ask. But I would still follow. I would still watch, right? And you might be in a watching season right now. There needs to be a season for you to get out of the damn watching and to start doing. And it took me 2 full years, 4 hours every single day. 4 hours every day while working 2 restaurant jobs. Full time. I had 1 day off a week. I didn't have any extra time. 4 hours was a lot. That was a majority of my time besides working the 2, 6 to 8 hour days, right? And so I lived and breathed at these restaurants. I slept for a short period of time, and then I woke back up, and during lunch break and during the mornings before work, or, the drive over to the next place, or listening earbuds, or at the end of the night, clean up. Like I was listening and focusing on credit and real estate. And that education started building a foundation. I was already developing a strong mindset, getting away from the stinking thinking people, start getting around good people, and start focusing on the education. Eventually, the education took me a place where 4 hours every day for 2 full years, I was just like jumping out of my skin I just need to do something. Eventually, it was just like, I can't just sit on my bed for a couple hours and read this book. I also need to figure out how to make money while I'm doing it and multitask. So I started donating plasma twice a week, making $1,000 a month. I started, collecting cans from 2 of the restaurants. At the end of the night, I would take the cans with me. Instead of a collection, a recycle company come around and do it, I would just take it, right? And then eventually, I would make an extra $200 a week. I mean, it was all small things, but it adds up. It started doubling and tripling my income. And that's where I can get the 30, 30, 30, 10 rule, right? It started positioning me to start just forcing me, hey, enough is enough. I'm tired of having these dirty cans in my car. I'm tired of putting in this restaurant hours. I want to figure out, how do I actually make more from this? And the hustle started paying off, right? But whatever you got to go through, you also got to fix that stuff. You got to fix what we naturally broke, what we naturally weren't taught, and then start building so that you can leverage upon it, right? And this is exactly what I did with credit, but it can be used in life for anything, right? But the foundation, what we've used here at Credit Counsel Elite, this is our 0% capital playbook, is understanding the 6 boxes. It's not just about your FICO score. If you're writing and taking notes right now, I do encourage, write that down. Circle that bad boy. It's not about your FICO score. There's 6 boxes that make up your FICO score, right? Late payment, derogatory remarks, utilization, hard inquiries, total accounts, and average credit age, right? Those are the 6 boxes that make up your FICO score, but there's 10 metrics that actually break down those 6 boxes, right? So that matters so much more than a FICO score. If you tell me the 6 boxes, I can tell you roughly what your FICO score is. Opening bank accounts, building relationships, the know, like, and trust factor is real. Dialing that stuff in. And there's actually 45 metrics. It's the rules to the game. It's the rules to the game. Real life Monopoly. It's how the banks and lenders are judging you and I. Once you actually learn this stuff, then it's a game over because you're the only one that actually understands the rules to the game, right? So many other people are missing out. It's kind of like playing Monopoly and the board game. When you pass go, we all know you're supposed to collect $200, but that's only because we know the rules to the game. If you don't know the rules to the game because it's your first time playing, nobody's telling you. Nobody's telling you, hey, collect your 200. You missed it, you know? So there's rules to the game, 45 metrics that you must know before applying, right? After that, fixing is important for everybody, whether you're in the 300 club, right, or the 800 club. You know, if you're under 700, you got to do some kind of fixing, or you should know that. But everybody's got to do some fixing, even if you're in the 800s or 700. The difference is it's only going to take 5 minutes of your time on each bureau, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. It's because you're going to want to update the old, outdated personal information. You don't want any known as names on your credit report. You don't want any employer info. You don't want any phone numbers. You don't want any old, outdated addresses. You want to delete all that stuff. Less is more important, right, on your credit profile. Removing any unattached hard inquiries. All that stuff can be done quick, right? And so we have a bunch of different strategies and ways. We have an AI state-of-the-art software that can get incredible results for you as well. We have other techniques that can get results within as little as 1 to 10 business days, which is incredible. After that, it's all about building those relationships with these banks, learning how to get to the 800 club in 30 days or less. What we've come to find is that there's a lot of confusion out there in this world here in America about funding, about finances. And I understand it. Like, I completely get it. It's a lot of moving pieces and everybody wants to be the expert. There's a difference between wants to be the expert and who's actually the expert, just so you know. It's a big difference. It's a big difference between wanting funds and knowing how to get funds. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different. What I can tell you is that there's a lot of misinformation about authorized users out there. And so many people do it backwards. They put lipstick on a pig. All the real estate investors, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, don't fix the foundation, you paint the foundation. Doesn't mean that the foundation is fixed. It means that there's a new coat of paint on there that you can't see the cracks. Still scary business, right? It's going to show eventually. So authorized users, a lot of misinformation. You want to fix first before you actually build and boost up your score to the 800 club. But did you know that if you're not in the 800 club, I can teach you how to get there in 30 days or less, guaranteed, after the fixing is done? I can show you how to do that. I can teach you step by step how to do that within 30 days or less, guaranteed. Powerful stuff. That's after the fixing is done. And then preparing yourself for what we call a mass apply, which is simply just an application sequence. When done correctly, you can get up to 90% approval odds. That's powerful stuff. Anywhere from applying for 10 to 50 plus applications over a 30-day time frame. Okay, there's powerful stuff behind that. Removing hard inquiries as you go. Going for roughly about 10 applications per week. And then after getting all that funding, leverage it. Liquidate the cards into cash, physical money that you can use for investment, start a business, grow a business, scale a business, invest in real estate. We have people being private money lenders for some of our ground up construction real estate we're doing right now. It's also about saving money, like protecting yourself, not paying so much to the IRS, legally, morally, ethically. Like Uncle Sam doesn't need to take 40 or 50% of your income. So set you up with trust setup, bookkeeping, tax filing, tax preparation, real estate lawyers, credit lawyers, trust lawyers, you name it. We give you exclusive opportunities at Credit Counsel Elite as well to invest in. And then afterwards, not to just be able to grow and scale your business, but also to be able to travel hack, to be able to go on the first class flights, the penthouse suites, and all that fun stuff, right? And next to nothing you're paying. Next to nothing. You're paying in points, right? That's the goal. And so not just getting 1-for-1 ratio on points, but 7 to 10x or 20x in points. It's powerful stuff. So I say all this with love, and if you are serious about investing in yourself and really getting out of this rabbit hole and realizing like, hey, I want to be prepared. I want to be positioned for when the market shifts or when the opportunities arise. I'm tired of seeing opportunities pass me by. Then this is for you. This is the timing. The time is now. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're not promised tomorrow. Money will always come and go. But understand you can get your tax write-off now before the end of the year. You can position yourself properly to be able to invest in yourself, demand your ROI, get an incredible ROI, get an incredible results from it. Ask yourself, what is up to $500,000 worth to you? If you learned how to repeat that every 6 months per person, just imagine with rates as low as 0%, can you imagine what that could do for you and your family and your finances for the longevity? Come on. So anyway, I encourage you to reach out to us. We got a free weekly webinar that we always drop every week live. So don't come on and think that it's recorded and trash talk. It's always live. So bring your questions. You can always schedule a complimentary call just to get a second opinion of where you're currently at, where you're looking to go, and we'll give you some gifts to be able to bless you along the way. But with that being said, appreciate each and every one of you guys. Again, if you have not subscribed yet to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, do so right now. This is the time. And afterwards, leave that 5-star review after listening to a few episodes. Look, guys, I don't have the crystal ball, and you don't either, but that's okay. What we can do right now is get ahead of the game, dial in our finances, invest in ourselves, be able to learn how to get more of this funding from these banks, start getting positioned and prepared to start saving money and making money. And when the opportunities come, you can capitalize off of it quick. We do this here at Credit Counsel Elite. We're very, very good at it. And we have a pledge. Our guarantee is this. It's very simple. It's our pledge that we will work with you until you get funding, until you are satisfied, until you are thriving and shouting from the rooftops your experience. That's when we'll say, okay, enough is enough. We've done our part. Like, handle your business and spread the word. You know what I'm saying? So you have nothing to lose, so much to gain. I encourage you to check out creditcounselelite.com. That's creditcounselelite.com. We're here to serve you. And if you align with our core values and you want to thrive, you want to take your business and your family to the next level, you want to get some real finances and get on top of things, this is the time. I truly believe in it. I truly mean it. And I want to see you come to the top with us. So love you guys all so much. Enjoy your week. Let's get out there. Let's crush it. Let's make the most out of it. And let's get ahead on our finances so that we can be prepared for what the future holds for us. We'll see you next time, guys. God bless. Thank you.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.